Tomorrow on rallies, any rallies on this, you want to be looking at being on. Okay, everybody, let's talk about the elephant in the room. To say Netflix earnings were a dumpster fire is pretty much an embarrassment to dumpster fires to start with. So if you look at what they were supposed to do, they were supposed to come out with $3.53 versus $2.83, right? It sounds good. 7.7 billion versus 7.93. Not exactly what you want to see is a decrease in revenue. But what really set this off and why you can see us just acting so poorly was for the first time in 10 years, they have a loss of 200,000 subscribers, meaning we were looking for this to come in at 2.73 million ads, and they came in at a loss of 200,000. They're saying that Putin did it and resulted in a loss of 700,000 subscribers to Russia. But the more important issue with it is, if that did not happen and they didn't get rid of 700,000 people in Russia, 500,000 net additions would have been the number. So even without Russia, which now limits them, right, from there, even without Russia, they still would have only been at 500,000 net additions versus the 2.7 that they estimated. So this is the exact opposite of what you want to see. Now, where can this go? This can go a lot lower. So in other words, let's just take Russia off the table and let's assume that they came in at 500,000 versus the 2.73. Okay, that is some of the slowest growth and negative sequential growth that the company's had in a decade, even if you take Russia out of it. What does this do? You have to start going monthly and really viewing where you're at and where we could get to. So, and I know a lot of people don't get this, but when you start breaking these monthly levels, you need to start paying attention to where you could really go. And I don't think to see 252 is that unrealistic. You're at 266 right now. So 252 is really your next stop before you see any resistance whatsoever. Now, why are we talking about this? Because tomorrow on rallies, any rallies on this, you want to be looking at being on the short side still. Okay, you might want to play the dead cat bounce, and that's fine. I'm just going to go to this breakout here to get a better sense of where we're at, because you can see how we based in here for a while. But you can see how this would put you at 314. You sliced through 314, right? So where are your levels? Your levels are here. Okay, this is not what you want to see. 252, 231, 192. They're your levels. So whether you like it or not, I really don't have anything good to tell you about this. It was an absolute dumpster fire. We were short this in the room previously. We got the short off up here, and we were up decent in it on puts, 370 puts that expire this month, and we wanted to stay in them. We wanted to go out further, and it's worked out very well, obviously. I stayed in the puts. I'm happy, and I think that this could go a lot lower. But 252 is your first stop. Any rally after hours, even on the earnings call, I would look at shorting this. I'm spending a lot of time on this because this was really bad. I can't stress how bad this was. And it's going to take the whole market down. We're going to get into that as to why. So stay to the end. There's one reason why it might not take the market down, and we'll get into it. But let's get into some of these other names. So this was one that we've had on the radar for some time. It's been in the newsletter. If you don't get the newsletter, there's a free version. Please click on the link below. It will be in the description, and you get a free copy and follow along with us. So it's not as in-depth as the trading room, but it does get you into seeing what we're doing in there, and there are some great ideas in there. So you can see how we flipped today. This is exactly what you want to see. Look, the bombing in Ukraine, as sad as that is, what it's doing is it's going to make wheat even more valuable. Even though you saw wheat come in today on the commodity play side, what we're seeing here is they're going to have to grow, and they're going to have to lease land, and they're going to have to grow. And this company's going to benefit from that. There's another one as well that people are playing. I believe it's FPI, Farmland Partners, and you can see what's going on here. So this entire space is on fire. I would really focus on this. If you make a higher high tomorrow, all bets are off, and I would expect this to really push. I really like this trade. It's such a simple trade. Here's your monthly base. You're just hitting your what I would refer to as your upcycle, and this is going to go on for years. This is not going to stop. Even if the bombing stop, and we all want that to stop, and we all want to return to normal, but we also don't want war. I mean, nobody does. So you have to realize that these countries are never going to want to rely on Russia for years. So this demand is not going to go away. The sanctions might even go away, but the trust is gone. And once you've broken that trust, it's very hard to put that back. So when you flip 42, that's what I would look for, and then see if we can push a little higher there. Now, in that same vein, this GNK, this was one we had in the top 10 stocks to watch for the week. And I always say this, and I really want you to focus on this. Please think about creating a list of what we go over here so that you can track these during the week, because I do updates, especially when we see moves like this. So today we broke out. This could have been bad because natural gas futures came in, commodity futures came in, right? Really no rationale or reason for it, but that's what happened. So this could have come in, but it didn't do that, did it? It actually went higher and formed a little pattern right here. Now you can see what's going on right now. So if you flip that level, 2580 tomorrow, you don't even need to wait for this. These 3-bar patterns where you have a breakout bar, you come down, test, and you close at the high, almost like a hammer. If you break out above this, you're setting up for another bar like this. So put this on your radar for sure. It's definitely something that I would be paying attention to. Now, in the same vein, the death of, quote, coal, I've heard about it now since back here and how the coal stocks are done. Okay, this is a major cyclical move. I'm not going to say it's secular because I don't think it's multi-year, right? Cyclical, I think this is a 1 to 2 year cycle. And I think it's because of where commodities are. Now you have to think about this. Commodities. CPI is higher than the 10-year bond. Last time that happened was 1980. Go look at the commodity bull market of 1980. You're in the same cycle. Okay, that's the trade. It doesn't change in a day because we go down and test the 5-day moving average. So this is a very simple trade. All you want to do is see if you can flip this. Now, let's take a look at this with pre and post data. Look at that. It's not a perfect dragonfly because you're not at the top, but it's darn close to being a dragonfly. And if you flip this tomorrow and get over 167, you're going to pin to this pretty quickly, 176. So I think there's 9 points here, gets you in that. And for those that want to stay in longer, they gave you a perfect spot to move your stops up to. Just use the bottom, the tail of the dragonfly. We're going to refer to it as a dragonfly. That's what I would do. But this is setting up. I like all those coal names. I was in and out of them today, and we are in them longer term in the trading room. But I like them all. I mean, they all acted exceptionally well. I don't really see any reason to lose because they didn't go up every single day. I think that's a little naive to think that that's supposed to happen. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, click all notifications because what we go over here is extremely timely. So take a look at this and please comment because I listen to your comments and I respond to every single one and it helps me develop the content. So, and thank you for responding and liking the video because it helps support the channel. See what I'm looking at right here? Okay, why am I looking at Lam Research? Lam Research has earnings tomorrow. Before Lam comes out, you're going to focus on 482.43 tomorrow. But what I want to focus on is this. At 1 a.m. tonight, okay, ASML will come out with earnings. Okay, they are based in the Netherlands. They are semiconductor lithography. Semiconductors do not exist without ASML essentially. Okay, whether or not this has good earnings or bad earnings is really the last pin. And you can see how we did here and how we did here is really the last pin that you have that could possibly prop up the NASDAQ, and we're going to get into that. So with Netflix completely imploding, and we can talk about why they've imploded, but if ASML has good numbers tomorrow, people are going to start looking for the next semiconductor they can play. That's going to be Lam. Tesla will see action tomorrow, yes, of course, but it doesn't matter. Focus on Lam because this could really move if ASML comes out because people want to play the next one. I just want to talk about this. So this is what we're seeing. We're seeing everybody get excited, and we got right to the 50, and we stopped. We're above the 5 and the 8, and they're playing the same game that they played with us last time. Now look at where you are, right? So after hours, I just want to show this. If this was a strong market, okay, if this was a super strong market, or just a strong market in general, okay, you would not see the entire NASDAQ market, okay, drop. Here's a 5-minute drop. Okay, just so you can understand where I'm going with this, okay? Here's a 2-minute drop, all right? Why am I showing you this? Because what Netflix just took 1% out of the market in 2 minutes. Does that seem like that's a strong market to invest in right now? The answer to that question is no, it doesn't. So you need to be careful here. I'm not saying not to do these trades. We had people all day long doing the tech trades today. In and out, bob and weave, make your money and get out of the way, especially during earnings season and especially with what you're seeing. We don't know if people are cutting Netflix because they're unhappy with the subscriber growth. We don't know if they're cutting Netflix because they're tightening their purse because oil's $4. We don't know, right? Not oil, but gas. So you see where I'm going with this? I hope you see where I'm going with this. So don't let this confirm. I want nothing more than tech to go back and to get another move like this, but let this confirm. It'd be great if this comes down tomorrow and we get another opportunity and we'll go from there. But let's just go through the SPY. Same thing, you got above the 50 and you're staying above that, but that's because of all the different sectors. So if you want to focus on one, that's what I would focus on. The stocks, this looks great. Even after hours, you're holding in here. If ASML is good and shows demand, this can move and bounce off that level. SOXL is how I would play it. But you need to take a look at this and just understand, because the longer term trade right now is that people are selling the 10-year and this is going to 3%. So how sustainable is a tech rally with the 10-year keep going up? And the answer is it's not that sustainable. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't mean that things are not going to get better eventually. I think they will, but I just don't see the big push that you have to be first right now. I'd rather be right. So everybody have a great evening. Any questions, reach out as always, and trade to win tomorrow. Time frame. We are going to be using a 2-minute time frame. If you're not familiar with this, every trading platform has a 2-minute time frame. You just have to go in and change your settings. We are going to use a 2-minute time frame because based upon the movement of algorithms and high frequency traders, the 1 minute has entirely too much noise now. As always, we have to adapt to what is going on around us.